So I think the way we can help you start to get clarity on reorienting yourself with that deeper knowledge of who you are is another simple but not so easy to answer question. And it's, what do you want? What do you want
Oh,
out of this next stage of your life, out of the job? It can be both macro and micro. What do you want out of this next stage?
well, I think there are several things. I'd like to feel like I am contributing in a meaningful way in a variety of ways, like financially. Like my husband's really stressed out lately with a lot of things. I would like to help lift his burden in that way a little bit, but also like he's always been so proud of me and the path that I had before we started a family, and it's nice to hear somebody feel that way about you and talk that way about you. And
Yeah.
so I sometimes feel like, I'd like to fulfill my potential a little bit more, I guess. And also just like feel like I'm adding value to the world. Like I know I do that as a mom. And I do a lot of community work as well. And I know I do add value in those ways, but I feel like there are other ways that I feel like I can add value to the world that I'm not currently fulfilling. So I think like probably the overarching answer is just like I fulfill my potential, I guess.
Mm. I love that succinct way of saying it. Like, I want to fulfill my potential. And when I hear you talk about adding value to the world, I see it more like that you're broadening your
Right.
contribution. It's been so understandably and chosen, refined, where you've been funneling your skill sets and your talents and your work, like your actual time. And now you have the opportunity to broaden that, right? In
Right.
ways that can add more. Other things you brought up too earlier, it can make you use different parts of your brain that you haven't used in a while,
Hmm.
different skill sets that you know you have inside of you, but didn't necessarily apply to maybe raising kids, right, at home.
Right.
So that's another part of what you seem to want, something that makes you think,
Right. Yeah.
meaningful work,
Hmm.
contribution.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I chose to stay at home with my kids, I had never intended for this to be my end goal. Had always said I wanted to go back to work when my kids were all in school, and I wanted, or maybe even go back for more schooling. So that has kind of always been part of my plan. And I feel like the pandemic kind of took me off of that path a little bit. Having twins took me off of that path a little bit. Just there were some curveballs with my kind of set plan that
Yeah.
sort of delayed things. And then I feel like I kind of, got off of my original path. But yeah, like using my brain more and feeling, um, I keep hesitating to say like feeling like I'm contributing more to society because I know again what I'm doing is meaningful. I have to keep saying that, but when we're out with other adults, I would love to have some other things to talk about besides my
Sure.
kids and my volunteer work. And I feel like in some ways I had one path as an adult and then I veered off into another path, and I kind of just want to merge the two
Yeah,
parts of my adulthood. And you know, anyway, I hope that makes sense.
it totally makes sense. If I were to encapsulate what you just said, I think it's this desire for more.
Yeah.
I want more. I'm grateful for what I've had, and I've done a good
Yeah.
job, and I've chosen it, and I've leaned in, and now I'm ready for more.
Right.
I'm ready for more. And with that, I think to feel more alive, to feel more like myself,
Right.
to almost
Yeah.
return back to parts of myself, to bring it back,
Right.
and to lean into where that's going to take me in the future, that merging. So it's not about, so this is where we're going to speak to some of those fears. And
Okay.
moving forward, it's not about a cutting off, right? Of both like your long past, but also your most recent past right now of
Right.
being a stay-at-home mom to kids. And moving forward isn't a cutting off. Is
Right.
it bringing everything with me forward into what's next?